As the colours of autumn show in the trees, my 4 days in the Cotswolds start as I travel down the lane towards the village of Aldsworth, to a special field on COCKLEBARROW farm. With the pleasing purr of vintage model aeroplanes as they drift overhead, I linger for a few moments to take in the joys of nature, the fruits, the foliage, the flowers, the insects and the birds, down this narrow, beautiful country lane, all taking advantage of nature's bounty in these 2 days of Indian summer. So much activity on a single flower head reflects just how busy the field is going to be over the next couple of days. Vintage model aeroplane flyers are drawn from a very wide area to this event. Some of these grand old gentlemen have travelled from places as far apart as Yorkshire and Devon. The weather conditions almost perfect. Some sunshine, very high cloud, and no perceptible wind. The day's business of flying gets underway. The references we see being made there are to a red kite and other birds of prey thermaling at great height with the gliders. One end of the field at COCKLEBARROW drops off into a small valley, and should you have an engine failure just after takeoff, or you overshoot on landing, you're in for a long walk. Until recently, the gliders were propelled up into the sky on a long piece of rubber tubing they refer to as a bungee. This system has worked well for many years, but now most of the gliders have been fitted with an electric motor, which gives them several opportunities to power up and climb again until a thermal is found. One of the largest models flying here today is this 96-inch Spook. This particular model has flown here at Cockleborough for a number of years. A little later in the afternoon, a second 96-inch Spook put in an appearance. Next on the agenda, the Tomboy 3s competition. It is the only competitive event held here at Cockleborough today. Each model has to fly earlier in the day a number of proving flights. In the competition itself, to make a level playing field, the same engine type and model are used, and a given quantity of fuel, giving an engine run of about 2 minutes. On a signal from the starters, the engines are started, topped up with 3 cc's of fuel, and then prepared for the mass launch. If my count is correct, 12 went in this spectacular little display. The entrants now have a period of intense concentration and eye strain. One of these little models was fitted with a rearward-facing video camera, and some surprisingly interesting video as it climbed away looking back at the field was taken. All around, all eyes are on the sky. Some like to sit in a chair and watch, waiting for the first arrivals. The aim is to arrive exactly on the 10 minutes in the middle of that circle. Any earlier or later means that penalty points will be deducted. With the competition completed, midday refreshments taken, flying for fun starts again. The panda, struggling for speed in the calm air, isn't going to make it before the long grass. No such problem for the electric powered bulldozer. Unusual name for a model aeroplane, but plenty of grunt in it. The Spearhead, an unusual little aeroplane. Delightful little model though. Looks like a cross between a power duration model and a cabin model. Again, powered by electricity, as are so many of the models we see now, including this one. Well, they are so clean, quiet and efficient. This type of model is now being referred to by the people who fly them as retros. It is a name now being given to the mid-1960s aerobatic models, giving three old-timer groups: vintage, classic and now these retro. I wonder what the next grouping will be called, covering the What For and Gangster period. No doubt someone will come up with a suitably appropriate title. No, I will resist the temptation to try and pre-guess it.
What was that manoeuvre called, mister?
The English language is wonderfully colourful, although these chaps do know each other well. Modellers gather here for the COCKLEBARROW event on 3 occasions a year: middle of June, middle of August and the first weekend of October. COCKLEBARROW is the premier event in most people's book for vintage flying. The Junior 60, with its engine running in free flight mode, slightly rich, is going to struggle up this incline and with a lack of wind. Once it reaches that slightly longer grass, it'll work as a brake. Contrary to most vintage flyers' views, overpowered models do have an advantage under certain circumstances. A genuine classic radio is always nice to see. The single channel radio group are now putting 2.4 equipment into the old cases. Nice. The engine in the Junior 60 has now been peaked out and a few more revs found, and she's away no problem. The yellow and red colour scheme I'd always found quite pleasing, until on the day one of the gentlemen told me it is known as blood and custard. Ooh, I'm afraid that's put me right off. The colour scheme for a model aeroplane and custard. We will deviate for a few seconds, as the alarm calls of a cock pheasant draw my attentions over the wall into the next field, where he is keeping his eye on a fox, who is completely unfazed by the human beings this side of the wall, and he's keeping his eye on the cock pheasant. And these partridges were totally unaware that the fox was there, and were in no way fazed or perturbed by me standing 10 yards from them. It's nice to see nature in such close harmony. That fox has seen me. Back to the model flying, and as the clock goes round to late afternoon, the shadows are lengthening and the day is coming to an end. It has been a good one. It's been a belter, in fact. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. I'm sure most have. We'll see you at the next one. Goodbye.